Okay, so I am Kristie, and Lori made her video, and she was raw and real, and I admire all things bold. If you know me, you would know that. I like things to stay interesting and honest, and so while I usually would not even post a picture of myself with no makeup and my hair sticking up and chapped lips and smudgy glasses, I want to be real and raw. And, you know, that's what this is about. Isn't hiding behind walls. Um, so today I'm finishing up getting through our stuff. Now, I am not doing anything as bold as what Lori and her family is doing. I am merely getting through my junk and allowing people that I love to come spend more time in my life. But I've been watching Lori's boys since they were little, Harry since he was a little baby. I've known Mike since I was 6, and he was 11, because my best friend um, is his sister, his little sister, Lori's sister-in-law, Grace. And we love her, and thanks to her, this makes all this possible. She lives in New York. She's very missed, but we know she's with us in spirit and carrying us in prayer. And Lori, I've known since my older two boys were little, but she's basically family. I don't let many people close to me. I'm friendly, but I can be a bit guarded of who I allow in my inner circle. And Lori was probably the first and one of the only close friends I've ever made as an adult. You got those friends you've had forever, and then you've got the friends as an adult. And I met her in the fog of having two children that were 15 months apart. I had two under 2. I actually crashed her wedding. I think that's when a lot of this started. We knew each other through Grace, but I was invited to their wedding because of knowing the whole family. I sat on the groom's side, and I don't know. We just went from there. We became good friends, and Lori is very different from me. Uh, I have had a lot of, I've had a good life. I have a good family. I've had a good life. But, I've had these things that have caused me to struggle. Nothing really came easy for me in the way of, when I was younger, I had learning disabilities. I mean, I had a decent IQ, so no one really knew what to do with me. I got through that thanks to, my awesome family and mother and father, and, there I didn't struggle. But I've always been overweight. I have ADD, which makes it very hard for me to organize, time struggles. I've also suffered from anxiety basically all my life. But I'm in a good place in my life now. I have 3 boys. I've been doing this mom thing for a decade. I worked in daycare. My mom had a home daycare. So I'm basically a baby whisperer around here. But I do tend to hide in my house. My anxiety is usually pretty good, but I'm not the 9 to 5. I've had my odd jobs here and there, and I just left a casual position, but I've been mostly a stay-at-home mom. And I've basically always watched other people's children too. And I am all about the chaos and the hugs and the life lessons, and I have the most amazing boys, and we are very close. But organization, knowing how or what to throw away, schedules, I mean, I've put all my energy into being a good mother, which is wonderful, but a lot of stuff, kind of went on the wayside. I don't necessarily have a lot of useful talents. Where back on track, Lori, she's amazing. I mean, she's good at so many things. It was intimidating when I first met her because I am not really, I know I have my strengths now, but they're not, the I believe they're more valued now. When I first met Lori, I was in the fog of having my own boys, and we still lived at my mom's renting, and but since then, I mean, we own a house. It's in disarray. One of my goals here is to get the house under control, and Lori's very handy, and it was a rehab. So she's going to help me with some projects, and some of it's cosmetic. Some of it I didn't worry about, because with a bunch of little kids, you get walls colored on, I'm not afraid to clean gross stuff. I'm an expert. But organization. I can write lists. I can write schedules. I can, do this whole thing, but the follow through, nope. No follow through. The willpower, I try, but I am mentally, emotionally doing really well. I think it's time to start concentrating on all those other things. I've always been a big believer in, if it's not working, then fix it. Everyone who knows me knows that sometimes I can be a little, not careless, on the word. I don't know. When I make a choice, even if it's scary, then I try to follow through. Even if it's scary. I'm making a video. Love you. That's my 10-year-old. Anyways, I've always kind of been a bold spirit, which wasn't always good when I was, a teenager. I met my husband. I got on a plane. I met him online, flew to Florida, and he didn't murder me. So, I'm older now. I would never do that, and I don't suggest anyone does. But I think that life is short, eternity's long. I try to live by that, I am not a crier or really a outwardly emotional person. But I definitely, the things that I care about or the people I care about, I care a lot. And I don't know why getting rid of stuff is so important, but I have to say that it took, doing it for my boys, or knowing that now I'm doing this for, Lori and her family, but it's also going to benefit us, because they're going to, they're going to pay rent and all that, and that's always helpful. Because Lori works full time and Mike works full time. God bless them. I don't know how they do it. I do not currently work outside my home. I babysit family, and I'm still home with my 5-year-old. But it's been, I don't know. I have some anxiety maybe about, or bittersweet, about getting rid of things. It's almost making me feel afraid, but it's not like I'm afraid of what we're doing it for. It's just like throwing the stuff away makes me feel vulnerable. You know what? That's the word. Vulnerable. And I mean, a lot of it's just stuff. Toys, but then there are a few things, I kept everything. My mom was very sentimental. She did the same. She had a lot of stuff. Uh, but I mean, we were always safe. It's not like those hoarding, like my home is safe. It's not like one of those hoarding situations where kids are climbing on junk. But I definitely have a lot and a lot of disorganized stuff, and it's just stuff. But that stuff, for some reason, makes me feel vulnerable. And my husband always asks me why I'm so about stuff and pictures. I really don't have a very good memory. I never have, especially short-term memory. I think that might be part of the whole ADD, or it's just how I work. So I do depend on visual cues. I'm very visual to kind of, to remember. But again, you can take pictures of things, and they're things, they're not the memory. Lori's been great about reminding me that. I am not a minimalist. I don't know if that's even a thing that I could ever do. But I am trying to get rid of almost everything. I have, a box for each of my boys. I can't throw it all out. I know someday they'll probably throw it away, but for now I need to keep it. So I'm still taking, steps. Like, I'm doing what I'm comfortable with, but even then I still feel vulnerable. But better now than ever. I mean, I always think there could be a fire and we lose all this stuff. So at the end of the day, really, is it that important? And I have 3 boys, and they really, they aren't that sentimental. When I was young, I was, if somebody went in my room and threw something away, I would be upset about it. But, hi.
Hi. Why are you making me?
Well, I'll talk to you in a minute, okay?
Okay.
Love you. So, today I'm going to go through some more stuff, and I am throwing a lot away. We also have a pickup donation for the Epilepsy Foundation on Monday. We've had a dumpster here. There was a lot. Life just kept piling up. I didn't really know. There was things I didn't mind getting rid of, but I didn't really know how to get rid of them, or, donate or throw out. I thought dumpsters were way too expensive, which I really didn't have the extra money. But then I did find a company that was reasonable, and, but now it's really crunch time. We do have an attic and we do have a basement, but the attic is a pull down, and we really don't want anything up there that doesn't need to be. But it is basically empty. And our basement gets wet. It's an older house. So nothing down there, like, we really need to keep. So, while a lot of people have storage space, that's what I'm going through. My storage, when my mother's house was sold a few years ago, we took in a lot of boxes, things that weren't mine, things that I had. I found a bear when Lori was here, that I made in kindergarten. Little Harry thought it was a monkey. It was a bear. I did throw it out, and I was able to, but I had not seen that thing. I mean, that had to have been in storage for, I don't know, almost 30 years. So I'm getting through a lot of this stuff. But I wanted to be real and vulnerable, and I admire Lori and Mike. I'm still in the comfort of my own home. My husband is awesome. He's been a really big support, but he works full time, obviously, and overtime, and gets my son to Cub Scouts. Hold on, sorry. What, Shay? Okay. And we have our oldest is an athlete, and he does all sorts of sports. We're kind of in between soccer and basketball right now. And then the Cub Scouts, like, my husband's really involved in that. I mean, he's really involved, Dad, which is great, but he gets busy. And he gets overwhelmed because he has a wife that, although I do most of the cooking and I do a lot of the cleaning, and I'm not organized and I'm a bit of a mess. So he has to kind of step up where I lack. But I am passionate about a lot of things that really aren't physical. Um, I mean, I do enjoy, makeup and pretty things. I said I'm a visual person. They make me happy and feel calm. Um, but then a bunch of junk, what is that? That's not calming. Or if you love something and it's in a box, is that really, are you really enjoying it? So I'm trying to work through that. I'm actually really surprised how this feeling that I have, like the sense of loss that I'm having over this junk. I mean, I'm not throwing out, my most important things. I still have a lot of stuff left, but for some reason, and then maybe it's also the change. There's a lot of changes coming. There's a lot going on and decisions that, just everyday life that you're trying to work through and figure out. And I don't know. I think in the long run, this is going to be great for everyone. Lori basically gets a third child and gets to mother me. She's 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 great. I'm maternal. I'm a very maternal person. In a lot of ways, but like I said, the whole adulting thing, like I if it comes to my boys, I can do it. Those kids, they are well taken care of. Probably a little too spoiled. Working on that. Uh, because those boys are my life. Anything and everything that I ever dreamt of, I am satisfied being their mom, But you can't, they grow up and you need to find something within yourself, and I'm always big about using you know, using your talents. I'm always encouraging people, and you take those the personality tests, like the last one, it gave you what, your job would be. Mine was campaigner, which is true, because I'm all about, like, if something's important to me, I'm going to speak about it. I'm going to be passionate about it. I'm going to encourage others to be the best they can be. I not not because of the reality of my life. I had a good life. But I just, I struggled with myself, I think it was a lot mental health, like just I felt alone a lot. I felt misunderstood a lot. I felt, emotionally abandoned a lot. And I try to be what I needed for everyone else, But I'm still not used to having that myself. Um, I when somebody else is crying, even if I was, I'll stop. I can't, because then it's time to be there for them. Um, but I need to learn how to express my emotions and be more open instead of, you know, trying to only be there for everyone else, which I have so many supportive people in my life. Honestly, I have never had more support. Um, you know, I never really, I kind of was guarded with my friends and, as an adult. I think because I just felt that I lacked. Everyone's around you adulting. They got their careers and their this and that. And I mean, I have a bachelor's degree and I take pride in my children and being a mother. And I'm okay. Like, and to me, feminism is about choices. And I had a choice to go have a career or a choice to stay home. And I chose to mostly stay home. But in this society, you're supposed to do it all. You're supposed to go to the gym and you're supposed to look gorgeous and your house is supposed to be fantastic and you're, you know, your kids, to me, like, success for my kids is like that they're happy and they're healthy, or at least they're, I know that there are children that get unhealthy, but for reasons out of their control. But I try very hard, to teach them whatever is in their control. We try. But my number one is like they're kind human beings. We need more of that in this world. To me, that's successful. But like, I'm not, you know, trying to make rocket scientists, although my middle son might be one someday. We'll see. But I'm not trying to keeping up with the Joneses. Very young, I realized that trying to fit in, I couldn't do it. It wasn't my thing. So pretty early on, I just decided to beat to my own drum, and I've been happy doing that since. And I'm okay people not really liking my choices. I'm a Christian, so like a follower of Christ. Like what would Jesus do, And so for me, a lot of it's about love and, kindness and tolerance and being a blessing, being a light in the darkness. So I've been concentrating on that, and I have been so much happier, and it has brought so many people closer to me. And I kind of lived a life where you had to care what, everybody thought. And it made me more guarded and afraid of being close to people, especially other women. I just assumed that they are all judging me. Now, mind you, there are mean girls, and I don't like them, and I don't really, I honestly assume if somebody's mean, they must have a problem with themselves. So I'm not, angry. I just feel bad for them, honestly. But it kind of prevented me from really making adult relationships. I think this is part of like a social anxiety thing, which I had none of until after I had children. I am an extrovert. I do need my alone time to regroup. But I am naturally enjoy people. But then that social anxiety kicks in sometimes, And I don't know. I just now I've had so many supportive moms. I'm telling you right now, if you're one of those people and you're hiding in your house and you think that everyone's judging you, I mean, there are mean girls. There are. But who cares what they think? I'm telling you right now, there's so many moms out there. Most of us, we don't have everything going on. I mean, there are some people that are amazing. I have some family members, some of my cousins, they hold down jobs, they've got great kids, they have a beautiful home. I mean, they're awesome. They're awesome. And I think it's great. And you know what? I want to be supportive of that. But for me, I don't have it in me. I don't physically, mentally, or emotionally have it in me to do it all. So what I've decided is I'm going to concentrate on my home and my family. And, once my boys get a little older, maybe I'll find a career. Maybe I won't. Maybe, I'm always a caretaker. I picture myself, basically just always taking care of people. I used to work at a nursing home and activities that I loved. I like people. I'm good at people. I'm awkward. Oh, if you meet me, I am awkward. And I am not nearly as articulate as I wish I was. I'm one of those people, I guess that's the difference. That's a big difference between me and Lori. If you see us ever on a video, Lori is articulate and, she thinks before she speaks. I am a lot smarter than I seem, I think. But I'm more of a creative, I just, I am who I am, and I'm okay with that. I am a big supporter of everybody loving their bodies, and why would you want to take care of something you don't love? I'm a big supporter of doing what's best for your family. As long as you're not hurting anyone, then I'm a big believer in inclusion, and I tell my kids we worry about souls. That's what Jesus did. We don't worry about all that other stuff. We worry about people's souls and hearts and minds. And so the society we live in, I think it's fun. I like all of the colors. I love to go to Target. I love visual appealing things. It makes me happy. I'm all into like comfort, and I have all these high hopes for my home and being a homemaker and all that. But I'm not gonna tell you that I'm gonna become, that I'm gonna start jogging. If I start jogging, then you should run, because something's chasing me. I'm not gonna, I'm not looking for what the outward world sees as success. I honestly think for the most part it's a lie. There are people that do it all, but I feel like somewhere something suffers. A lot of times it's the mother or the father or the marriage or but it's not my place. So at the end of the day, I'm going to be supportive of others, and I am going to try to get, my house in order. That's my goal. That's something that I think some people just do, and that's weird. Oh my gosh, somebody, it's weird that that's my only goal. But I am a busy person. I'm caring for, loving, and I try to nurture relationships because I'm healing from some stuff that that caused more of me to become more introverted. But my boys are getting older, and I'm surrounded by a lot of people who have little ones. My youngest is 5. I have a 10, a 9-year-old, and a 5-year-old. All boys. I think that helped me not worry about perfection. They all have big personalities. Oh, they're great kids, and I think that's it. I think that's where my confidence comes in. I feel like I made it. Like my goal was to raise, wonderful young men, and every day I feel so lucky that I'm their mom. Mind you, they're children. They're children. They're not perfect, but I adore my children, and I feel like I made it. Like, if you asked me, like, oh, what do you like about yourself? I feel like I succeeded, because I know that people take that for granted too. Oh, well, my kid's cute and has good grades and all that. No, like, my kids are like good humans. They're good humans, and I don't take that for granted. To me, that was success. To me, parenting is work. If it's easy, then you're probably not doing it right. Maybe you got a really easy kid, which is great. And I didn't do it alone. My husband's awesome. I have an awesome family. But I feel like, I'm in a time in my life now where, like, I don't have a baby, because I was kind of, more of an attached parent. I'm strange. I'm like an oxymoron. I'm very hippie in some ways and really not in others. I never really fit in a box. You're probably not going to fit me in one. So this is a long video, but maybe I'll post it on like the YouTube channel. Because I did not intend for this to be this long, but I think it's a good intro, where I'm starting from. But I'm excited for healthy choices, healthy living, just accountability. I give God the glory. And I'm excited, to start this adventure. And I will keep you posted. I am fully invested in this whole process. Lori, I mean, this is huge for her. Oh, it's huge. So I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot from her. I hope you do. Um, I'm excited. All right. Well, God bless.